Welcome to India Today SoSouth. I'm Sarah Fazil. The Wayanad landslide tragedy has caused devastation on a scale that the region has probably never witnessed in decades. Over 250 people have died and scored more are missing. India Today has deployed its battery of reporters to understand the tragedy, the intensity of what has taken place there. And also joining me today is India Today correspondent and my colleague Sagay Raj, who also spoke to a survivor of this landslide, an elderly woman who broke down while she shared her ordeal with him. Let's take a look at this video that we have while she spoke to Sagay Raj. An absolutely heart-wrenching visual right before our eyes, and we have our reporter himself, Sagay Raj, who was with this elderly woman at the time that she was sharing her ordeal. Sagay, if you can tell us a little bit about the kind of sentiments, the emotions which are obviously running very high given the intensity of this tragedy. And let's not forget that we've seen devastation in the form of land, but in the form of human loss, it's been massive. If you can tell us, what did she speak to you? What have been the stories that you've been hearing?
No, I spoke to her. She was a grandmother, and she lost her daughter-in-law 2 years back, a few years back, and she was the one who took care of his daughter-in-law. And she told me that ever since she was 2 months old, she was the one who took care of her. And just 2 months back, they had taken, I mean to say, the in-laws had taken, saying that she will try to pursue her education in Mundakkai. And that's when they left her in their house, and they were thinking that everything will be fine, she will pursue her education and everything. They had a lot of dreams when it comes to her, and all of a sudden, this devastation happens, and they have no clue where is the granddaughter. And she was telling that every time when she sees her photo on mobile phone, she was unable to control. She was completely scared. And see, the problem is when you get to know that she's dead, or if you identify the mortal's name, then things will be sorted. They don't even know where is she, what has happened, and it's just waiting. It's the waiting that makes them even more the feelings even more worse for them. So that's what the entire family is going through. They are unable to find their in-laws. They're unable to find their 9-year-old granddaughter.
Yeah.
So this is one particular story. There was a man here who had sent a pregnant woman to her in-laws' place, and she had delivered a baby 2 days back, and he had met the baby and wife, and she went back home, and all of a sudden this happens, and even he doesn't have any clue where is his wife, where is his child. He was sitting there, he was not willing to talk to a camera because he was completely scattered. He had no words to express. So this is the kind of agony that the people are going through here in Wayanad. Everybody, every single person in this relief center have one or the other story. So, they don't have a count. You know why they don't have a count of the deaths? Because the person who is supposed to give account, for an example, head of the family, the father or mother, should give an account saying that we were so many people. So even they are not there. So they have no clue how many people were there. They were people who were working in a tea plantation estate. They were close to that particular place. So they are clueless. Even many of the panchayat members have lost their lives. So around 50 to 60 houses has disappeared within 1.5 hours in Wayanad. And now people whoever is coming now to look forward or to get the mortal remains are the far relatives for an example, aunt, uncle, or anybody who was staying away or whoever was out of Mundakkai on that particular night. These are the people who are coming here to identify the mortal remains and to finish the rituals after that. But waiting to identify the mortal remains to know who is the person. And this grandmother went and checked every single the cold storage to find out if she is her granddaughter. She went and checked every single molecule to find out if she is the one. So identifying and seeing so many mortal remains is a tough task. Waiting for the dead body is something which cannot be described.
That indeed is a very, very tragic loss that several people and families in Wayanad are currently facing. But Sagay, we know that right now you seem to be very emotional, even now, while you narrate and tell us the ordeals of all these people. But what was it like? I mean, you were listening to many such stories today while you just shared all these experiences with us. But if you can tell us that, what is it personally that you have actually been experiencing or feeling while you have been on ground, while you've been reporting, while you've been listening to these, these heart-wrenching, gut-wrenching stories one after the other, sharing your personal experience from ground zero?
End of the day, journalists are human beings. When I was hearing the story, I could only remember my children back home in Bengaluru. I have two kids, and I could relate. I could understand their feelings. That if my son or my daughter gets hurt, how I feel. And people have lost their kids. So it should be devastating for them. They are completely shattered. They have no words. So when you hear them, we could relate. We could relate their feelings. We can understand. End of the day, even journalists are human beings, and that's how it was. I couldn't control. I couldn't control when she was interviewed. And every time when I'm touched on live and I'm reporting, whenever I hear whatever she was narrating, every time I could envisage what she was telling. That she was 9 years old. She was a beautiful girl, and she took care of her from when she was just 2 months old, and she had sent to the school. If you just envisage and picturize in front of you, you can understand their feeling, you can understand their agony. That's what it went through in my mind. And every time when I hear the story, I still feel bad for her.
Strength and power to you. That was my colleague Sagay Raj giving us the emotional stories out there, the absolute devastation that the Wayanad landslide has caused in the state of Kerala. Keep watching India Today SoSouth, because it gets you non-stop coverage on this tragic incident that has struck. And prayers with the state of Kerala yet again. I'm Sarah Fazal for India Today SoSouth.